Are you a zodiac sign person or are you a personality test person? I'm sorry to all the zodiac sign people out there, but I'm gonna go with personality tests because they're much more fun and scarily accurate. So if you love personality tests as well, this podcast is for you, me, and everyone else who doesn't have a clue on how to live this human life on this confusing planet. I'm Chez, your host for the How Do You Even Human podcast, available now on YouTube and everywhere you can get your podcasts. And today, we are gonna have not just one, but two guests for today's episode. And as you have guessed it, we're going to talk about personality tests. And these two people, I have never met such people who are more obsessed than personality tests in the world. I'm gonna introduce you guys to Philomena Yap, aka Ena, and Agatha Ena, aka Aggie. Let's go!
Hi!
Hello!
Oh my god, that was a killer spiel. That was amazing.
Yeah, you just went for it.
Thank you. So how are you guys? Oh my gosh, we haven't seen each other in a while.
I know.
Yeah, oh my god.
I'm like switching back and forth. I'm like looking at the Zoom camera, looking at my camera.
Yeah, same.
You're all in the same general area for me, so that's
yeah. So we're gonna talk about personality tests today, and I thought you guys were the perfect people for this topic. Can you describe why you guys are the perfect people for the topic of personality tests? Particularly MBTI.
Why not? Just kidding. Well, we kind of like bumped into it around sometime like in grade 12 and like became obsessed ever since. We made everyone we know take it.
I remember it was the day we were in class and then the teacher wasn't there yet. So we all like whipped out, oh man, no, we haven't like looked back at the MBTI. So we tried it all. We made everyone, all of our seatmates try the test, and then that's when it started, that specific day without the teacher. And then everyone took it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like once you know everyone's personality type, it's just, you know everything about them already.
Yeah.
Like,
You can study them from afar.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, he's an ENFJ. Oh, I know him. I already know him. We're not gonna be compatible, or we are
T types.
Oh my god. So, so we're gonna talk about MBTI, and just a little disclaimer: we're not psychologists here.
No, we're not even psych students.
Yeah, we're just like theater kids, and
we will say nothing of substance. Just kidding.
Yeah, so Aggie's course is BFA Cinema, but like her association is theater. Like she's BFA Cinema with like a strand of theater. I'm a comm student in Ateneo, but then I have theater kid, and Chez is speech.
I'm a comm student, but I hang out with the theater kids too in UP. So like, what's good, guys? So we're not even psych students here. We just love MBTI.
We just like to talk
a lot.
I mean, like analyzing and judging people.
Character study.
Mm-hmm. So let's jump right into it. So let's talk about the different preferences.
Oh wait, first thing, I feel like this is like something I need to like get acquainted with also, but it's like a preference because everyone has like the ability to like access and adjust to both, but then just one feels more natural than the other.
I was watching this TED Talk by Jean Kumaro, and she said, it's like if you, try crossing over your arms.
Oh, we're gonna do it right now.
So you obviously have a preference. Like I like my right over my left. Yeah. But you can just as well put your left over your right. But it's weird. Like you don't really know how to go about it. So it's basically your default.
Okay. So the MBTI isn't like all encompassing, like it's a definite thing. It's definitely a spectrum where you can just like shift, like it's just your tendencies, right? Yeah. Okay. So now let's talk about the preferences of people. let's talk about EI first, extroversion and introversion. So what's that all about?
So extroversion, that's Ina and I. This is gonna be so revealing because we're gonna be telling them what we are. But anyway, so like our mind exists outside of our subway. That sounds so wrong. But then like an idea, Jean Comerol, so she said something really cool. Like an idea only becomes real when you say it out loud. So like we tend to talk. Actually, Ina and I we talk to each other a lot to kind of like form our opinions along the way.
Yeah,
So
you
nothing
can't
is-
read
yeah.
our chat history. There's full of salt. There's full of beef there. So
Yeah.
you can't look at it.
Because we need to talk through it. It's extroverted thinking.
Basically, the where the E and the I operate, it's basically in dichotomy. So, like what you said, it's a spectrum. So if you were to think about it in a line, this is E, this is I. You can flip in between, so it's in a spectrum. And like where that spectrum operates is basically where you get your energy from and where you focus your attention. So it doesn't just mean like, oh, I'm like shy all the time.
Shy.
It just means I prefer
Yeah.
to gain my energy first inside, and then I'll find my way to go out.
Yeah, it doesn't really have to do
True.
anything with confidence and
Yeah, true.
sociability.
Yeah, cause like I'm an introvert,
Mm.
but then I'm not really a shy person. Like I actually like talking to people, but like my social battery just runs out very fast.
Yeah,
I
really
need
fast.
to take energy for myself alone.
So for the extroversion, if you prefer extroversion, you focus on and get your energy from the outer world. So people and activity. And if you were to prefer introversion, you like to focus on your inner world and your ideas and experiences, and that's where you get your energy from. So what Jean Comero said, basically you have silence. And the difference between an E and an I is that an E prefers to fill in their silences, and an I prefers to cherish their
Cherish
silences.
the silence.
That is so true. I
And
can.
on,
yeah.
on interruption all was very interesting. Like,
that one,
an I like forms their ideas internally. They don't need to talk through it. So when they say something, that's definite, and you need to listen to it. And E would like appreciate interruption because I feel like we're discussing it. But then if you interrupt an I, that can be seen as rude. So what do you think about that?
Yes, so
I
basically
feel
they'll
so
get pissed
exposed.
off.
Like
Yeah.
y'all are reading me.
So
Yeah,
like me,
and-
since I'm an E, I actually like it when people interrupt because oh my god,
Me too.
we're bouncing off of ideas. But if you were to interrupt an I, they'd like get pissed. They're like, I've already formed this idea. Why are you interrupting me right now? Like they'd get
Yeah.
like, roar, yeah.
Oh my god. I'm sorry to all the people who like I snapped to. Like, I
Just
snapped at-
listen.
Yeah, I'ma
It's
just
not
listen.
personal.
Yeah, okay. And next, let's talk about SN. So what is SN? This is what I'm really confused with, the SN.
It's
This
confusing.
is my
Yeah. So
favorite.
please
'cause
clarify it to me.
Yeah.
So-
So in a nutshell, like what Ina and I love to say, it's like an S sees the world for how it is, and an N sees the world for how it could be going.
Yeah, and it's we actually, for us, this is where we find a lot of like clashing of ideas with other
Yeah.
people because it's how you gather and process information or experiences, how you infer from that. So from our notes, we have that sensing is past recollection. So you have a box and you're like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. So this is bound to happen. If you were to go an N, you have an open
What could happen?
you have an
Ah.
unfixed box. Like, you know when, like those paper origami things? It's like, it's not folded yet. And so you say, okay, we have all of these pieces. We could fold it to make it this.
So N's are very imaginative. They're all about like possibility.
like
yeah.
creativity and all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then an S would be more facts. So like an interesting thing is like recalling a conversation. For example, we had a conversation and you didn't explicitly say that you enjoy fries, but they'll be like, oh, Chez enjoys fries. But then like an S would be like, no, she never said that. But then the tendency is N's tend to read subtext rather than just like
Yeah.
recall actual lines.
That's why I get into so many like little arguments with people because like they didn't say that, and then I'm like, no, but they meant that. You missed it.
They really did.
Trust me. And yeah, if we could sum it up into keywords, sensing is facts, logic, realism, things you can grasp, concrete things. And intuition is potential, inspiration, and imagination. So it's basically like connections. Like, do you have this relationship? How can I connect that to other things? So it's future oriented.
This is definitely the hardest one for me to like access and like deal with the differences. I don't know why. It's just like it takes so much work to like get your point across. I don't know. It's not a bad thing. Like
that's
I
true.
have a lot of S friends, but then like it's the most difficult one to consolidate.
Like, do you not see the bigger picture? Do you not see like?
And then they're like, come back to the ground.
Okay, now let's talk about T and F. Ooh. I like this. I like the T and F, thinking and feeling.
I had a feeling you did.
So if S
Do you want to start?
and E, if S and I were how you like receive information, T and F is how you put that information forward, like how you make decisions from that. So it's like inwards, outwards. And so thinking is objective, fact-based decision. So how do we solve this problem? Like critically, how do we address it? There, like keyword address. And then feeling is subjective, value-based decisions. How do we like value empathy? How do we seek to please others? How do we hear? So basically, T would be how do we address, and feeling is how do we hear, if in like words.
Yeah, I don't know. One of the ways I like to think about it is like T's are all about outcomes and results, and then F's are more like process. Like a T would like their primary goal would be to like seek out a solution, and then an F would be to how to help and how to like best come to a solution.
Yeah, so like T is like the destination, the goal oriented, then like F is like the experience or
Subjective
the journey
experience,
oriented. Okay, I get it.
Jean did this other like social experiment where she had a group of T's and she had a group of F's, and then she asked the T's, okay, if we had this project, when would you like for me to give you praise? And so basically all the T's said, well, we'd want praise at the end of the project because it's completed. And so Jean asked them, okay, what if I gave you praise in between, like at the start, in the middle? And the T said, well, I don't think you'd have any standards because we didn't finish the project.
That's
so
so
why
true.
would you appreciate me beforehand? So like they'd kind of be like, what? But then, okay, so she got the F's and she was like, okay, if we had a project, when would you like for me to give you praise? The F said, here.
Along the
They
way.
wanted along the way.
way.
And so that's because they want that affirmation, because at least things like good start and then good ideas. And they said, what would happen if we didn't give you praise all throughout? And then the F said, well, I don't think my leader cared about me. And so that would lessen my quality of work and my morale.
Oh, this is also like an interesting thing because like when in an emotional situation, like my natural tendency would be like, okay, how do I solve this? Or I compartmentalize it and just go through it. But then like something I actually learned from Ena. I know she says this thing like, I just need you to feel my rage.
Oh my god.
She's like,
Too
you
much
don't
rage.
have to say anything. Just like let's be angry together.
Yeah, Fs are really like the F types. Like I find them to be really emphatic and like empathetic. Yeah.
This is where
And
Aggie and
then-
I deviate. This is our
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because like Aggie's an ENTJ, and then you're
Yeah.
an ENFJ.
ENFJ.
Yeah, okay. Oo nga pala.
So when you deal with a friend who has a problem, this is where a lot of people get it wrong. That's why, you know, when you have this bad thing happen to you and then you go to rant to a friend and you get even more pissed because it's like your friend didn't get it because they didn't talk to you the right way. Basically, you need to ask them first, okay, would you like me to help you solve the problem or would you like for me to hear you out? So that depends on them if they want to be thinking, oh, how do we solve it feeling, can you just listen to me for a while?
Feel my rage.
Feel my rage. Phrase of the day: feel my rage.
Feel my rage. Feminine rage.
Yes. Okay, so let's go on to the last type of preference, the JP.
Ooh.
This is my second favorite. JP, judging and perceiving. Yes.
We're all judging.
Yeah, we're all
We're all
judging.
judging types.
Sorry, please, you have no representation here.
The scale is not balanced.
Yeah, we're already judging types because right now, if you look at all of our screens, we all have outlines. Like, this is my
I'm on a
outline.
split
Oh my
screen
God.
right now.
Ches has her
Yeah.
script and her spiel of how you even human. So that proves in
Yeah.
itself that we're all judging types.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I just like structure in my life.
Okay. So Jay is all about like the structure and everything.
Yeah, how the last one is like how you prefer to live your life. So like lifestyle.
Okay.
If we were
So
to think
J's would
about
be-
it, like a J would have a table, a list, an outline. A P would like a mind map. Yeah.
Okay.
Like how I like to imagine my brain, it has like a filing folder.
True.
Like everything
Oh
has
my
its
God.
and they don't overlap.
Don't
just like
So like Jays thrive in structure, in like routine, in like detail
Yeah.
orientation, organization type of stuff. And then P, they're more like how do I connect all of these stuff? How do I explore these ideas, do something
yeah,
with it?
they prefer to have their options open because they're very spontaneous like that. But then also like an interesting thing is like a killer, like a way to tell that a person is a judging type because they'll be like, well, I plan to do nothing on a Sunday, but they said
Plan.
plan.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when they're like, I don't know if they were like, I don't know if I think I'm a P type because I plan to do nothing. And Jean was like,
Yeah.
okay, but you said plan.
Plan.
Okay. Like, oh my God, I felt so exposed because like I plan all of my day. Like I need to have a to-do list. I need to have everything, and then Sunday I plan to do nothing because like I thought I was being spontaneous and creative.
I'm showing
and,
this
like,
to my
a free
camera.
time. No.
This was my to-do list yesterday. I have it in phases.
Oh my God, go.
It's just-
Let's go.
Phase
Let's go,
one is-
J-types.
Phase 1 is my morning, and then I have lunch. That's a break in between. Phase 2 is my afternoon, and then in between that is like either exercise or dinner. And then phase 3 is the night. So I need to set like different tasks. And if you look behind me, I have post-its right now. Like my camera can see it. So I have 3 post-its. Yellows are for group works. And then the blue post-its are like my personal, I need to do this myself.
Yeah, cause like the J-types, like if we don't plan everything, we feel like everything's gonna go down,
Yeah.
and like we didn't
Yeah.
foresee stuff. Like I think the J-types are, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We're like we
Oh, that's
relate
good.
with that stuff.
That's fantastic. Word.
Can you say it again? If you what?
Okay, take this down, Ina. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. I don't know where I got that, but
Yeah.
like it has been my motto.
That's not to say it's like the correct way
Yeah.
to deal with life, but it's just like how we prefer to. Like if you want to be spontaneous, I always need to block it out on my week. I'm like, okay, Sunday, take chances.
Yeah, a lot of our friends are also P's because they prefer to go with the flow, adaptability, and flexibility. Like I have this other friend, she likes to go with the flow. So if I were to give her like, okay, when can you finish this? Like, I don't know. Like I'll just right now I'm here. So J's, they like to think in ED. Okay, I finished this. I've done this. And then when it comes to P's, okay, I'm finishing this. I'm doing this. So for them, there's no deadline until the last minute.
They're always in the
Yeah,
process.
process.
So P stands for procrastination. Process.
I'm so sorry.
No, we're so no personality.
I love you, P.
Yeah, no personality type is bad. Okay, we just have preferences here. Okay, we're just all J types here. So we love you, P's. We love you so much. But try to plan.
Let's try it once.
Try it one time. Yeah, actually when we're doing watch parties, Ina and I are always like, okay, we're gonna start at 9, as in like start setting up at 8:50, and then at 9 our P friends are like, I'm still fixing some like
Oh my god.
Some technical errors. And we're like, okay, it's fine. It's not personal. It's just a preference.
Cause like I remember like if something, cause like I have a lot of orgs, and like when you do orgs you have a lot of events, and when you have an event it always fails. So like how I understand it, it's like the J's.
Always.
If something fails, they always have a plan B, plan C, plan D, plan whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then like the P is just adapt to the situation, like whatever is there, like just roll with it.
They're way more flexible than us.
Yeah, something personal that I've noticed. So, I've started journaling this quarantine. And you know how journaling, it's anything
Yes,
goes.
journaling, we talk about that a lot.
But like the thing, there's something in my brain, like there's a wire that's like, okay, you have to do it this way. And I get so in my head, I didn't do it the right way until like someone had to tell me, journaling is about like doing anything, right? No,
No, it
I
isn't.
need to have 5 things I'm grateful for today. 5 positive things like that. And if I don't do it, I think I've done it wrong.
That is so, it's not really sad, but like it's so stressful.
Yeah,
Because
in my mind.
It's
very
exhausting.
exhausting. Yeah.
It's
Like you think it's
being a
easy
J.
if like everything is planned. No, because like life is like full of surprises. So if something goes out of plan, you're just like, what is happening?
Yeah, like I paint, and I really want to be like one of those people who are just like, oh, I had a genuine inspiration. Just like get up and do something. But I'm like, okay, so what color? I have to like plan everything. And when something doesn't work out, I throw a tantrum. It's really bad.
Chance, to sample your French accent also.
I need some je ne sais quoi, l'inspiration.
We have no je ne sais quoi.
Actors.
Je ne sais quoi. Yeah. So that's everything. That's EI, the SN, the TF, and the JP. So, do you guys want to talk about the 16 personalities? Like just a very very short overview of each, because like it's very interesting, like how these different like preferences blend in together. So, what personality do you guys want to start with?
So there's IN. So there's INFP, the healer. INTJ, the mastermind. INFJ, the counselor. INTP, the architect. Oh, I know. Ches
that's
is
the
the
first
mastermind. Whoa, Ches is the mastermind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just say. I saw a meme that like the first row is like the, oh, so you're gonna die alone here.
I felt so exposed.
Would you like to elaborate, Jess?
I feel like I'm too much of a controlling person in my life that if anything or anyone stands in my way, like back off, girl. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
do you want me to like go through everything and then you can like say, oh, what does that mean? And I'll just say all the titles.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so INFP
We
healer,
can-
INTJ mastermind, INFJ counselor, INTP architect, and then next are all the ENs. So ENFP is the champion. Wow.
They're usually like the protagonists.
Yeah.
Like the ENFP, yeah.
Oh, ENFJs are the protagonists. ENFP is like the campaigner. I don't know what that means.
Social
But they're very
butterfly.
people centered. ENTJ is the commander.
Oriented.
That's Aggie.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
ENTP is the visionary. And then ENFJ is the teacher. I'm teaching right now.
Go
It's
teacher
so-
Ena.
Oh my gosh, see it manifest.
It manifests.
guys.
Next are the ISs. So ISFJ is the protector. ISFP is the composer.
Ooh.
ISTJ is the inspector. And ISTP is the craftsperson.
Ooh.
And the last in our list,
The crafts
are,
person.
the last things in our list are the ESs. The extroverted sensing. So ESFJ is the provider. Wow. ESFP.
Wow.
ESFP is the performer. ESTJ is the supervisor. And ESTP is the dynamo.
The dynamo? What's
Well,
a
yeah.
dynamo?
Okay, so that's the most intriguing.
Well, that makes
So
sense.
it says here, ESTPs, so that's extroverted, sensing, thinking, perceiving. ESTPs are energetic thrill seekers who are at best when putting out fires. Wow. Whether literal or metaphorical. That's your career path.
Wait, why are they dynamite so that they put
Fires.
out fires? I'm just kidding.
It's a bit counteractive. So
Doesn't make
they bring a
sense.
sense of dynamic energy to their interactions with others and the world around them.
So, yeah, that's all the 16 personalities. If you're a part of them, just check out what's the website for the 16 personalities?
Actually, the websites have like
16 personalities.
increased, but you can just search 16 personalities and then the quiz will be the first thing you see.
Personalities.com.
Yeah.
But actually, you're supposed to take like an actual
Yeah,
standardized
that's not
test,
that's
like, with a psychometrist.
because like the
Yeah, with a
16personalities.com, it's just like an estimation of that
abbreviated,
test.
Yeah.
But it's a good test. Either
Way to
way.
gauge,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is like you're advised to take it like every 6 months or so, which is good because like I don't know, it's something like with I don't know, like there's no one fixed personality that you have for the rest of your life. But also I'm like terrified to take it again because
Me also!
I refuse to be anything but INTJ.
I'm so
Like,
proud
what
of
am I gonna do with
that.
myself? That's my branding.
Yeah, I have this whole fear that oh my God, I don't want to change. I kind of want to stay in my bubble. Like I know myself. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah. Oh my god. I think it's because we're like NJ types. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to venture there.
Yeah.
With everything that we've talked about, you know, the MBTI preferences and personalities and all of that stuff, why do we love personality quizzes? What's so intriguing about them? Like the categorization of people. What's so fun about them?
What about you, Ches? What do you like
I
about
mean, I
it?
have like
I like knowing people and I like judging people.
Chismosa
So
to eh.
then INTJ.
it's what we do.
Like, once you know someone and once you know yourself, because like I like being self-aware.
Oh.
And I like being aware of people so that I know them more and like there's no conflicts because like I understand what they like, how they think and how they do stuff. It's just really cool for self-awareness and like awareness of other people. So how about you guys?
Yeah, being
Or
a better
even
human.
more
How
obsessed
to
than
be a
me.
human.
How to be human? How do you even human? We're not even getting the title. How to be? No, and actually that reminds me of like something really interesting. Ian's if you remember before sunrise, Richard Linklater, he said like one of the characters said that like the cool thing about knowing someone is it either irritates you or it makes you happy. That like you know exactly what story or anecdote they'll say in a situation, you know what shirt they would use, like the longer. So it's really cool that you can predict, which like segues into like my next answer. Like there's this interesting thing called I learned about like, analogical thinking. Basically what it is like human beings save a lot of brain energy by using analogies. So for example, this cup is this shape and it's gonna hold hot drink. So anytime I see something of this shape, instead of being like, oh, what is it? It's gonna be a cup, since you like. So it's a case, a result, similar case, and then you can predict a result. So personality tests, I think, is like an easy way to like predict how people will act, which is great in like leadership situations because like you can skip all the awkward like experimentation of like learning what other people like.
Yeah,
to
Aggie's
experience
usually the
and stuff,
leader
and
in
you can
things.
just-
Like she just assumes it. She doesn't present herself, but like it just gets there.
Yeah, it just saves time.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly. Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna be a leader. It's like exhausting. But then like everyone's so slow and I'm like, oh okay guys,
I know.
this is what we're gonna do. Yeah.
See ya. ENTJ
I know
is
you
the
all
commander
experience the
type.
same
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, what's the importance of personality quizzes in like life and like knowing people? Like, what's so important about, you know, knowing how people think, how people act, how people like, where do they lean into when it comes to like making decisions and all of that stuff?
Basically, for me, my reason why I'm so into MBTI is like getting through to your core, and like because of that trying to find harmony with other people. Because for me personally, whenever I get in a fight with somebody, my one solace is like knowing their MBTI type, and then I search them up. How do they deal with conflict? Because my number one pet peeve as an ENFJ is that, okay, you can disagree with me, but I will be so annoyed if I don't understand where you're coming from. Like if trip mo lang na maging ganyan. So I need a reason.
Be a jackass.
So yeah, you guys talked about like conflict management and all of that stuff. So
Self-awareness.
how about self-awareness?
Self-awareness, very
which
big.
takes me to my next question. How does it help to be self-aware? Like, what's the importance of self-awareness?
It's kind of like, a banana doesn't know it's yellow unless you tell it it's yellow, which is like a terrible. but yeah, it's really like that. Like you don't understand your tendencies unless it's pointed out to you, and it's also really validating to know like there's not one way to process a situation. Like instead of being frustrated with yourself, you can kind of align your ducks in a way that makes sense to you.
Yeah, cause like like making sense of everything. Cause like sometimes you're frustrated. Why can't I learn this properly? Like why can't I finish this project? Maybe it's cause like your personality isn't, or your way of thinking isn't fit for that, or you don't process that stuff easily, and you have a different way of thinking. So don't be frustrated with yourselves, and know how you can learn and how you deal with stuff every day through these personality tests, so that you can just live an easier life. Like being self-aware just made life more convenient and just easier to go through, because life is hard already.
The best thing about it is, okay, so MBTI, Myers-Briggs, it was made by women. So,
Women.
I love
I don't know why you
women.
gasped. I knew that.
So, it's Isabel Myers-Briggs. Isabel Briggs Myers and her mother, Catherine Cook Briggs. And the best thing about it is, they purposefully made the assessment results so that it would be easy to comprehend and to share with others. So it's really meant to, it's really not meant to just for you to like ruminate in. It's really meant for you to share, and for people to understand one another. Because the thing is, as Catherine was a fiction writer. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, she was a fiction writer. And this is where her interest in personality types was born, because she wanted to find the fundamentals of personality and behavior so she can create and write better characters for her stories.
Yeah, cause like sometimes like characters become interesting when like there's no one personality in like a show. Like for example, sorry, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like everyone has a different personality types, and how these personality types interact is just really cool. Like really interesting.
And it's also interesting to like compare like what personality type or like what kind of person is rewarded in different shows. For example, in something like Harry Potter, like someone, an INTJ, someone who's more cunning, wouldn't like is seen as a bad person, like not a bad person, but like as not that admirable. But if you move it to a show like Suits, or How to Get Away with Murder, like the leads are those.
What's frustrating is like, sorry ENFPs, but like what Aggie said, usually the people who are rewarded in shows, the Elena Gilberts, the help me out here, who are the ingenues?
Yeah, ENF. Ingenue.
Basically, okay. Can someone like lay out what's an ingenue?
Oh, an ingenue.
An ingenue is like it's a character trope of like the girl next door. Basically, this is the female that's like kind of sought after by men.
Yeah, basically, usually ENFPs like films and media are rewarded because they're the people person, but they have this little twinge of like cluelessness. So it's like everyone kind of, okay, this is the story. So like in the Vampire Diaries with like Elena Gilbert, so everything is happening to her, and everyone like has to like help her get through it because she doesn't know what she's doing. Yeah, and that's why self-awareness is so important, because that cheesy line that you can't love anyone else unless you love yourself. It's like, it's serious, like it's dead serious. If you don't,
It's real. You heard it here,
it
folks.
gets so messy when you're having your own internal problems and you kind of act out. Like if you're having a bad day and you don't know how to get across to your bad day, and it just so happens that your partner was like, "Hey, do you want like food to eat?" They're like, "No, I don't want food to eat." So it's not about them. It's not about them asking that if you
It's
want
about
food to eat. It's because you've been having, sorry, tricycle. You've been having this bad day, and you didn't know how to nitpick it first.
Ooh.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like, ooh, praise. So like basically praise and criticism come in like a package. They come in the same box. So you can't really like feed off of praise and let it
True.
define you and be like, okay, I know I'm good because a person, external praise that is. Because like if you give praise power, you're giving criticism the same power. So like if praise impacts you the same way when someone has a negative opinion of you, then they're like at the same. So you can enjoy the praise, but then like put it in like a nice little box,
Yes.
nice little compartment.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
blew my mind because that means if you allow praise, if you allow yourself to be so affected and so defined by praise, like okay, this audience member said I was that good. That means you'll have the same amount. You'll allow that exact same experience to happen when you're being criticized. So if you allow that much praise,
Yeah, so a critique is
Yeah, they
just
hold the
as
same weight.
legitimate.
Yeah, so I really like how you guys are very self-aware with how you guys deal with stuff and like how you deal with praise, criticism, and all of that stuff. And speaking of self-awareness, let's talk about our own types,
Oh.
our own personality,
Ooh.
and like how do we deal with the world, this confusing, crazy world where everything's just So yeah, let's go with Aggie first. ENFJ.
ENTJ.
So,
Yeah.
Ian. I'm sorry. That's
Um,
Ena. ENTJ.
ENTJ,
Yeah.
TJ.
Thinker.
I think the easiest way to like explain an ENTJ is we see the world as a machine. Okay, we see the world as a machine, and then like everything is like cogs of stuff, and then they make up a bigger picture. So like my natural reaction to things would be like to adjust myself to like make the machine better, because like the big thing is like efficiency for us. So we just like when things are efficient and stuff, and then actually it's like a misconception that we don't feel things. I feel things. Just kidding. It's a lot of our actions are driven by like the desire to make ourselves in the world better. So I think that's very feelings based.
A way I'd define an ENFJ, it sounds like so narcissistic, but like it's the best way to like get it across. And basically, we're protagonists, so we don't necessarily put ourselves in a position of like leadership or power. Sometimes sometimes we just sort of have to assume it when the time calls for it. So I know that my strengths are like peacekeeping, communication, persuasiveness, and like when the time comes, leadership. Like I won't ever try to like be a leader, but if it calls for it, I would be, because my communication style, basically like what Aggie said, to be able to process things, I need to be able to talk it out, because if I don't talk it out, I won't understand it. So how I deal with people right now, I'm like a group leader in like so many subjects. I need to ask. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to like ask, is this schedule okay with you? Is this fine with you? But the thing about that is like the fault of the ENFJ is sometimes to be able to keep everyone like happy and like to keep harmony up and morale, you kind of have some like our tendency is to become what do you call that? Foot mats? No, what's it called?
Doormat.
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 Yeah, so that's always our fault, because if they're good, if the machine, like what Aggie said, if their machine is working, we're kind of like, okay, we just have to like do this much work so that everyone up there can so that they can function. So it's so hard. You always have to.
But I think where she like shines in terms of, I think where Ena are you I think where you shine in terms of leadership is like where I fail, because how I think is like I see the bigger picture and I see how we can get there, and then how to delegate the tasks to get there the quickest, most efficient way possible. But then like I tend to forget to like deal with the individual people and like show them this is what we're trying to achieve, and like this is why you should be excited about this. Like I tend to forget about that, and the ENFJ is like really good at like, connecting
that's
to
what I've,
individual people.
because like my my best friend is an ENFJ also. So like I just
Oh, we know.
I'm just really like, I always ask him, how can you connect with people so fast? Like I'm just like
so quickly.
like
I
in a
know it's
party,
crazy.
he's already friends with like at least 3 people, and I'm just like, what? How did you do that?
Yeah. You say oh wow as if it's never happened to you. She's like, oh
You know,
wow.
that's like, girl.
Oh, don't be coy.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
So,
sociably, so I feel like you'd relate to this, Chess, but I saw somewhere that sociably ENTJs, I think it's the extent of NTJs, they're kind of like a displaced monarch in social situation. So they're like trying to relate to people, but then they obviously don't. Like they know how to deal with. I don't know. I always feel like that. Like that's kind of narcissistic, but I feel like a displaced monarch who was like overthrown by a revolution. So I need to be like you know, relatable, but it's really hard. What? Yeah, go.
yeah.
Anyway, we'll find out when Chess edits.
Yeah, don't worry.
The
I
view,
will
you
edit
guys
this
know. We don't know what
episode.
she's
So,
saying.
yeah, while waiting for Ena, yeah, I'm just gonna talk about like INTJs, because like I think we're very
Yes, tell us.
we don't know how to connect with people. I'm just joking. So yeah, but like INTJs, we're very much in our heads most of the time. We like to plan out everything first before we tell anyone about it, because like we don't if someone criticizes, oh no, Ena, if someone criticizes us, we're just like, oh no, did I do something bad? Okay, oh, I didn't think this through. And yeah, we like to think a lot, and we like to analyze situations a lot. And before we get into a social situation, for example, we try to have like a lot of inner dialogues or imagined interactions, like, okay, so this is how I approach this person, this is how I approach this person. Like we rarely not think before we act. We always think before we act. And we like logical, we like when things are thought through in a logical manner, because like if everything is just and especially we want goals, like we don't want we're not the type of people to like just do it for like the sake of it. We do it because like we always have like a certain goal in mind. Yeah, so I have definitely coped with being an INTJ. It's kind of like, is it a rare? Yeah.
It is rare. This is interesting to hear, because like we don't hear a lot of. We actually have a common friend who is an INTJ also, and I've been in a project with her.
Yeah,
and my frustration. Don't get this the wrong way, but like my frustration is, since you're like a very inner world, they're like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do, and I'm like, okay, but how are we gonna achieve that? And I don't know. They were like very. No, it's okay. Trust me. Like we're gonna get there. Like I need to know that.
Yeah,
I need to know.
We love that phrase a lot. But trust
Let's
me,
communicate.
like trust me, it's gonna go there. Like
We're gonna get there. Yeah, but like, but we need to talk about it. Yeah.
It's like, do we have to negotiate about it? I'm just joking. Yeah. Yeah, we love working alone.
You prefer to work
but
alone.
Then,
that's respectable.
like INTJs could still how do you call this? We're very still like persuasive people, because like we love how do you call that? We still like to analyze stuff, so we have everything planned out, like how to influence that type of person. Like, right, we're the mastermind, so how do we do this in order to achieve a certain goal? Like, most of our friendships are more networks than friendships.
I know what you mean too. The
we're
ENFJ
just,
has
like,
left
vibing
the
here.
chat. Just kidding.
Let's go back to your displaced monarch analogy, Ena. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, basically, I just want like Aggie's analogy just like made me reminded me of something, a different analogy. So basically, an ENFJ can also be likened to a chameleon, because sometimes people can say, "Oh, you have different faces." Like you're like people might say, "Oh, like you're two-faced," but like the real thing is,
It's not.
ENFJs, we kind of study you first. Like once you start talking, it's already like, oh, we're studying you. And-
Yeah, like yeah, I've noticed it with ENFJs, like
one in particular.
like you guys adapt to the situation and then adapt to the person so quickly, like what they like. You get a person immediately. You get who
Yeah,
they are.
it's this
and-
little, it's a small people pleaser like facet of ours. So, we'll basically pull out the parts of ourselves that are like what we think that you'd attune to, and that's who we are with you. It doesn't mean that we're like two-faced. It just means that okay, this parts of me is like what's going to create harmony with you. Yeah, and basically that's how we are also in relationships. Have you guys gotten into your relationship selves?
No, we haven't.
No, we
Actually, ENFJs have like they don't get enough credit for being manipulative. Like memes, they always make out ENFJs to be like these forest creatures, but they're really manipulative.
So manipulative.
Me and my best friend, just like he and I, we had a whole conversation. Like, not even like it didn't last for an hour. It lasted for a day, and like we had like more days where we talked about we are so manipulative.
Oh, INTJ pa and ENFJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
World domination.
dude.
Wait, can I just say how funny I found it when Ena was like, well, speaking of displaced monarchs, let's talk about chameleons. Okay, moving on.
But yeah, like what you said, displaced monarchs. Basically, there was this really cool chart that if you were to turn every personality type into a villain, mine would be like a dictator. Like that's what an ENFJ is. Like the most insidious parts of ourselves, like the evilest parts, is that because we can study people so well. I do this all the time.
You're
Like,
basically a cult leader.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So we kind of lead the conversation to where we want it to go. So if I'm trying to make you go to this party, I'm gonna be like, oh, you have nothing due this like Saturday, so we're gonna present it in questions, like innocent questions. But really, once you answer those questions, you've like fallen into our trap. Aha, that answer, it'll catapult into this, and that's how we manipulate you. Yeah, the ironic thing about ENFJ, because even though we have that facet to be manipulative, our number one like fear is for you to think that we're not genuine. Isn't that so ironic?
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I see that. So you guys are persuasive. Let's
Yeah,
use that.
persuasive.
Persuasive.
Let's
Yeah.
call it that.
Yeah, like me and my friend were just like, you know what? We're not manipulative. Let's just call ourselves persuasive. See, another wordplay of manipulating people.
Wordplay.
We're not manipulative.
We just get what we want.
Yeah, I think that's what's similar with like the three of us.
Yeah.
We if we want something, we need to get it.
We're gonna get. There's no alternative.
And we just have
It's
different
how
ways
it
of
is.
getting there.
Yeah,
Mine
that's
is
true,
through
that's
people.
true.
Oh, mine is through people. Aggie's, what's your tactic?
By sheer force.
Yeah, because like, Aggie, can I just say, you are such an intimidating person, and I
She
love
is.
that.
Am I? Oh,
Yeah,
stop
no,
it.
just like it's really good. Like how intimidating you are. You're just like a really strong, You have a strong
Aw.
presence. I love it. I just
Thank you, Chess.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah, she
God.
has this
I
like
think.
history that like every boy she meets first, they're kind of scared of her until like she breaks her shell.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. Boys are scared of me. Boy, I'm really not that scared.
Yeah, so it's just cool how we can see like okay, this personality type is compatible with another person. Like cuz like, all personality types we can see like it's not like this one is compatible to this or this one is not compatible to this. It's just like how do you
It's-
deal with
Oh, have you
like-
guys ever taken compatibility tests? Like, what was
I
your
haven't.
result?
it's, it's not like it's not an ENTJ thing. It's just like a me thing. My compatibility is also an ENTJ.
Mhm. It
Yeah.
makes sense though. Even in your test, it's like you need to have the same amount of standards as your person, and
Yeah.
it's not a narcissistic thing. It's because you want to get the most out of your relationship
Yeah, we
on
just
both ends.
Mhm.
We need to be better together. No, and I need someone like who won't take things personally. Like I don't know, I'm not a very tender person. I think so. I can't be paired with someone who expects that of
That's
me.
true. That's true. That's why, people are so frustrated with me that when I'm just like, can you be more emotionally available, please? But
Isn't it ironic? It's ironic how we're acting.
I know. Oh, speaking of, like, cause like actors, like they're supposed to be, I don't know, the most empathetic people in the world, cause they're always in other shoes. But then, we have like these personality types where you're just like, you're an actor, how? Like, do you
Yeah.
feel anything? Aren't actors supposed to feel?
feel something.
I don't think so. Maybe it's like our way of like feeling
That's
that
true.
doesn't have any consequences.
Yeah, that's
'cause
true.
It's not you.
Yeah, so now let's talk about like MBTI and character study for actors, cause like it's
Oh my
really
God.
like knowing character and what type of like MBTI personality they have. It just makes it easier and
So
like
much
it
easier.
makes it really cool. Like you can do a lot with the character. So yeah, do you guys want to start off with that?
It's not an end all, but it's like a really good starting place, like of the thing that Nikki Trevino.
Hi,
she,
Nikki.
she like hi Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
She's not watching this.
Yeah, I don't think she'll go to this point.
We've said so much. She like just kidding. Anyway, she tells us like how would imagine yourself in the shoes of an introvert. So you would walk near the walls a bit more, or like how would you stand if you're a feeling type? If you seek out connection with other people more than you usually do, like that's just like it's just an interesting thing to step into, like how others experience the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and basically the fact alone that the origin of the MBTI was to help have more to have more concrete characters for a
Mhm.
fiction writer. That already okay, it's really
Ah.
it's
Yeah.
so right for actors to use in their character study.
Yeah, MBTIs are really it's really for storytellers, whether you're an actor or a writer or a director.
Or just looking for self-care,
Yeah.
self-awareness.
It's a
Self-care.
good thing to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, so just a summary of everything, cause like it's really cool how the MBTI is just really good in analyzing your relationships in life and relationships with yourself, like your own self-awareness. And it's really interesting how you guys just talked about so much about MBTI. You guys are so, oh my god, I can't comprehend how much knowledge you guys have with all these
Thank you. We were like so
personalities.
nervous. We didn't know enough.
Oh my
We've just been talking out of our asses this whole time.
Just, like,
forget everything
As a
we just
last
said.
point, not only is it important for you to know your own type, it's so important for your type to be represented in the media.
Mhm, that's
yeah.
true.
For us, I know personally, to find an ENFJ in a show, it's so validating. And I know that, I'm not crazy. I'm not, all in my head about this. There's other
That's
people
true.
who act this same way. And it's so humanizing. For me personally, my favorite show in the world is Doctor Who. And to there's this character. Her name is Clara Oswald, and she's an ENFJ, and I didn't know it until I got older and I read up about her. And the thing is, I accidentally like grew into her without even knowing it. It's the same kind of like we have to process it like through other people, and we always want to be someone you'd want to lean on, someone you're like specific to, and we'll get so annoyed if we don't understand where you're coming from. Like that's when we'll like
A more accessible example for like people, I think, would be Katara from
Or Barack
Katara
Obama.
from Avatar, The Last Airbender. She's like basically the same character. No, not really.
Or if you don't watch Atla,
Yeah.
another ENFJ is Barack Obama.
We talked about that.
Michelle, I know Chez is Michelle Obama.
Yeah, she's Michelle
Yeah,
Obama.
that's why I love
And-
her.
Oh no, I'm
And
the wrong
so
ENFJ. I'm the wrong ENFJ.
Yeah. No. It's not that. But yeah, like media and MBTI, I think it's very important because and ENTJ, like I don't know, who do we have to look up to? They're very
They come in
difficult
rare
to
amount.
reach. Like I don't know, Miranda Priestley. It's
Oh,
kind
she
of like
is.
they're very unattainable. So in something like Doctor Who, we have a character like River Song, who's like it's very interesting because she's a romantic interest in the show, and I don't know, like I just like when I saw the episode she's in, Ena showed me. She's Doctor Who cult leader. She showed me, and I was like, wow, this is so refreshing. And I just like didn't realize how starved I've been of like
Representation.
representation. Yeah, it's not just like MBTI representation, but like diversity in the
Yeah,
kinds of
diversity
people.
in writers, like in the media. Like
Yeah.
people need to write.
Yeah.
That means you're a
kinds of-
writer.
Yeah, we need to have like
Yeah.
a lot of personalities on media, like not just different types of like races or genders and all of that stuff. Also different types of personalities, because like everyone is just different. I think we're the most different when it comes to personality. Like everyone has their own preferences. Sorry, my vocab, my brain is so muddled already. And I just had so much fun in this episode. Like
Oh, I had so much
Me
fun
too.
too. I like got
I kind of
loose in
forgot
the
that it's
middle.
an episode.
Me also.
Yeah.
I let
Yeah.
Like, we're just chatting.
We're just chatting here. Yeah, because it's a podcast. We're just like casual chatting here. So we always end this podcast with a certain line. I hope you can finish this statement. The bottom line is that to be a better human, blah 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 blah. Yeah,
Who wants to go first?
yeah. Who wants to go first?
To be a better human, you. Wait, no. Sorry. Okay. To be a better human, you need a lot of self-awareness, a little bit of booze, and connection. That's it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So for me, to be a better human, you need to start with building blocks of yourself before you try giving any Lego blocks to anyone else. So you need to build yourself up first, and then it's basically how to be a better human. It's what people on the plane say. Please put your masks on yourself first before anyone else. That's basically it.
Oh my god, that's fantastic. Wait, no, I have a better. I just thought of something, but yeah, because we were talking about displays anyway. So to be a better human, get a bigger sense of the picture and find out how you can fit into that
Yeah,
picture.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
It was like big. Mine was like small to big, and then yours was like big to small.
Big to small. Induction
Chess,
to
what
induction.
about you?
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, host.
The bottom line of this episode is that to be a better human, start with yourself, be aware of yourself, and then you'll see that you have better relationships with people.
Mhm.
It's just you don't have to always just talk to people and like, okay, I'll do this and all of that stuff. Start with yourself first, because that's the easiest. And then once you know yourself, then you'll be a better person for others. And other people, you'll understand that they're also gonna be good people for you. Yeah. So that's
Wow, we're so
so
profound.
I'm gonna thank you so much
Thank
for
you, Ches.
this. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, thank you
Ches.
so much. So this is the How Do You Even Human podcast. Thank you for watching and slash or listening, and we will be chatting again in the next episode. Bye bye, OFA.